Well, welcome back to the show and our chat with Stan Harrington on Skype from LA. And Warwick, he's a super inspiring dude, and what a story in Hollywood.
Fantastic. It's hard to make it over there, mate. Takes a lot of years. Just ask Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
It took 25 years too.
And he's right in the heart of Hollywood. And it's a fascinating chat, and here's part two.
What's Hollywood like for people that probably haven't been there? They see it, they read about it, they see it on TV, they probably think it's all movie stars and everything's like the best of the best. But when you get there, it's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
There's a bit of a dark side, LA in there.
It's not. I think it's a little bit of a disappointment to a lot of people. You know, it's not as glitzy, or it's very dirty. A lot of homeless people. It smells like urine.
It's a bit
a lot of souvenir stores and tattoo stores, and they've picked it up a little bit, but. To be honest, when I first got there, it was considered very dangerous, and it was a very, very dark and dingy sort of we're talking mid-90s, you know, but it had a character about it that to me is almost like, now it's just like trying to look like Hollywood, but just as dirty and really probably more dangerous because of all the tourists, you know, all the criminal elements that come there and just, you know, hang out, and you don't know, you feel safe, but it's really not safe.
So, mate, tell us about Legends, because you came back to Australia, we caught up recently, and this is a really exciting project. Warwick's wearing the shirt.
I'm taking that show global, mate, for you and me.
Well, I was there over a year ago for my niece's wedding, and I noticed that TV, I'd always noticed that TV was going off, but it's completely off right now. Network TV is nothing but reality. And to me, it's like I saw a pattern that was going on in America, happening in Australia, where they lose faith in content because they're only interested in making bucks. They're more interested in who's in it than how good the characters are.
Big Brother and Love Island reality,
Well, you know, like you put a thong on TV, somebody will watch it, and then you can sell advertising, and then we'll make characters out of that, you know?
About them living.
Not to criticize any particular show, because I think there's room for everything, but you can't just completely get rid of storytelling, because that's what film and TV is a medium for. You know, it's a medium for telling stories, and unfortunately the same thing happened in movies and whatever. And in America, what happened is they realized that people weren't sick of great stories. What happened was we're all paying premium bucks now to pay for HBO and Showtime and Netflix and Amazon to see those great shows, because network gave up on them and they can't catch up now. I got an article a friend sent me from the Herald not that long ago saying that audiences are leaving network in droves.
Wow. Because,
you know, there's only so many cooking shows and so many, you know, contest shows and dating shows that you can see before you start tuning out. I mean, you get better stuff on your phone, you know. So I thought I'll do something that nobody else has done. So my goal was to get that age demographic, which they so desperately want, which is teenagers to early 20s, do something that nobody else has done. And to do one thing that McDonald's does, which I think that's why I call it my McDonald's show, because what McDonald's does is they advertise to kids, but a 5 and 6 year old can't go in by themselves. They've got to take their parents, you know. So they get everybody, and if you go to McDonald's now, there are as many adults as there are kids buying food. So I thought if I can get every age demographic, you know, and do something that everybody wants to see, how can they say no?
It'll work, yeah.
So I came up with this idea for Legends, which is set in 1980, which is the most popular era right now. The 70s and the 80s has just got this perennial appeal, and the proof is in the pudding. If they're looking at figures and they're just accountants, then look at the figures, because Cobra Kai, Stranger Things, you know, Lost in Space, all these shows that are coming out of that era is because that's the era that's selling right now. So the only difference is what I've got that, say, Lost in Space doesn't have is an original story. This isn't a remake of anything. This is original. And to cap it off at the end, and what it does is it follows 3 boys in 1980, and you just see life in Australia in the suburbs of Melbourne in 1980 through the eyes of these boys. And the way that the older generation feeds into it is because when they watch it, the way it's written, you see yourself in these kids. You live vicariously through them. You say, I so remember that. That happened to me. I know that, you know.
You're a self-creator, mate. So outside the system, you're constantly creating content. You're always pushing films. You're always writing. You're always doing stuff. It's awesome. It's inspiring. What would you say to other people out there about having a crack?
You do think out of the vortex, Stan, don't you?
Young people that come up to me and ask me, I always tell them, don't lose your enthusiasm, because you're going to get jaded very quickly if you buy into everything, your successes and your failures, because nothing is real. And what's going to happen is everyone's going to tell you why you suck, why you won't make it. If you can tune out the noise and stay enthusiastic, your career will flourish. If you buy into it and fall into it, all that negative stuff that's going on, you'll get jaded very quickly, and nothing will cost you a job more than negative energy.
Yeah, you got to keep it positive.
Cool, man. So where are we at with Legends right now? You came back and shot the series, and
So we shot 4 episodes, kind of like a pilot, because, you know, usually with a pilot they want an hour. This is a half-hour show, so I thought I'll put 4 of them together so that people can see it. And it looks sensational. We've got an amazing cast of people that are famous there, as well as people that are famous here. I could tell you about who's in it if you want to know.
yeah, man.
I'd like to know that. Who my co-stars are? Who are my co-stars? Stan?
Sally Ann Upton from Wentworth, who
Really
plays
good.
Juicy.
Does she act?
And they're on ABC right now. We got Matt Testro, who was the lead in Nowhere Boys, which is now sold worldwide, not just in Australia. He was on the first 3 seasons. He was the main character.
That's good.
We've got Matt Workmeister, who was on Neighbours for 7 seasons. We've got Rick Peters, who flew out with me from America, who's probably best known for Dexter and the CSI group and all those types of shows. We've got Emmett Skelton from New Zealand, who's in a show that you guys get on Foxtel called The Almighty Johnsons. He's the main character in that show. But he's also done movies over here. He was on AMC's Making of the Mob and the Playboy Story about Hugh Hefner on Amazon. So he's a big star. He's also one of our directors. We've got Jan Russ, who discovered Delta Goodrem and Kylie Minogue and all those people. She was an actress too before she was a casting director, and now she plays the principal at the school.
Like I said before, man, you're an inspiring guy. I think it's awesome what you're doing. I hope Legends is a huge success in Australia and around the globe. And thank you for being on the show, mate.
Warwick Cabot, Toggers from the #1 show platform, and we'll see you for #2 show, Legends, worldwide soon.
Well, Legends going to be fantastic, because guess what, Chugsy? I'm in it.
He's
He put the big spot for me and Renee Stink. That's going to be shit hot. I've been practicing my lines for 2 months.
He told me he's written a pretty decent episode with you in it.
I hope we can
and there's quite a bit of conflict.
Hope we can do some hangers in the stairwell.
Yeah.
Do some cappuccinos.
Yo.
Your beauty.
It's going to be great. And speaking of great stories and inspirational stuff, just recently there was a story coming out on the Gold Coast about a family who's created a TV series called Stage Mums. I contacted them on Facebook, and we'll catch up with them when we come back.